Hello everyone, my name is Lowko and welcome back to a best of 5 series of professional StarCraft 2. Now today it's time for a Terran versus Protoss, and in map number 1 we find ourselves on Simulacrum. In the top left hand corner of the map, playing with the blue Terran SCVs from South Korea, we have one of the strongest Terran players in the world, and his name is TY. His opponent in the opposite corner with the red Protoss probes, we're looking inside of the main base of Trap. And likewise, well, he's not a Terran player, but he is one of the strongest Protoss players on the planet. So on a League currently, which once again, I mean, I've said this many times in the past, but it is a statistics website for StarCraft 2 that keeps track of all of the tournaments that are being played both online and offline. As of me making the video, Trap is considered to be the number 17 in the world on that website, and TY currently the number 8. Now, obviously, you gotta take those statistics with a grain of salt, because it doesn't mean that TY is gonna win 100% of the time over Trap, but there's no denying that these guys are very, very good and amongst the very best on the planet. So TY, actually, he is currently in the grand finals of the GSL Code S, which is really, really exciting. He's gonna be facing off against Cure sometime this weekend, if I'm not mistaken. Could be next week, actually. If you want to watch it, you should probably look it up. But long story short, TY is currently waiting in the grand finals to play his games in probably what is the most prestigious tournament in SC2. So TY, certainly a very strong player. Now both players doing a little bit of scouting here. The workers did not quite high five, but at the very least they know that nothing cheeky is really happening. This probe should still arrive to maybe block the command center. Oh my god, just a little bit. Yeah, this is just gonna force the lift off temporarily. I mean, Terran buildings, most of them can fly. So it's it's just a little bit of a nuisance. Just gonna slow down, you know, the mining ever so slightly, but it should not be that big of a deal. In the meantime, though, on the other side of the map, the SCV right now scouting out right here exactly what's going on as well. Next is coming up here on the low ground. And actually, you know what? It's not a Reaper opener. It's gonna be straight into Marines. Pretty interesting. I guess that TY right now is mostly just relying on that one SCV to figure out what's happening. Well, he's got to get on out of there because the Chrono Boost does indeed get used there on the gateway. So here's the first Protoss unit already out. He's going to be able to use that Adept here to kill a Reaper. But yeah, there's no Reaper coming, my man. This is the saddest Adept ever. Look at it. It's got its binoculars and all that out as well, waiting for the Reaper to arrive. Still expecting it, probably assuming right now that it's going through the natural instead. But no Reaper this time around here whatsoever. Trap might actually check here in the front in just a second with this probe to make sure that, yeah, everything makes sense. So that probe already heading right now towards the front. It should see the Marines and therefore explain exactly what is going on. Well, it didn't just see the Marines, okay? It saw them up close and personal, and then it died. A little bit sad. Anyways, Hellions as a follow-up, Oracle as a follow-up in the meantime on the other side of the map. So it's going to be a Stargate opener this time around from Trap. A lot of the Protoss players recently have been playing the style that Parting has been showing in the GSL Code S as well. So Parting sadly eliminated right now in the GSL Code S. But Parting was going for a lot of Blink Stalker openers. And he took out players like, for example, Maru, right? Didn't he beat Maru? That still seems a little bit crazy to me because Maru is like so ridiculously good. But according to Parting, if you micro your Stalkers well in the early game and you micro your Prism well in the early game, you pretty much always get ahead. So a lot of Protoss players have taken that to heart. Now let's see right here what he can actually do against this. That Oracle will be forced to use defensively. Are the Hellions going to be able to get any damage in? Shouldn't really be too much. Just a couple of workers so far, and well, I've got a feeling that Jimmy will also not be able to go on home. There it is. He will get sniped too. So good defense right there by Trap. But in a way, right, this is also immediately allowing TY to defend against that Oracle at home. Hello. Mule. Oh my god, that Mule was actually not clicked on the mineral patch. There it is. Okay. Sometimes we see this every once in a while. If a Mule does not mind, like if you right-click it to the mineral patch rather than right on top of it, the Mule will just sort of sit there and then, you know, spend its entire lifespan just sort of sitting there. That would be like 300 lost minerals. So that's a lot. That's a lot. Now, one Widow Mine right here does get spotted. That one should get sniped here pretty easily. There we go. Will get picked off. At the same time, though, there is a medevac with 2 Widow Mines also heading into the main base. Widow Mine gets... Oh, actually, one of them pops up on the other side of the map. Or on the other side of the Nexus, rather. But once again, good defense right here by Trap. This should be taken care of quite rapidly. And, well, while the medevac might be able to get out, it is now going to see the third Nexus here as well. So nice little scout right there on the way out. But this is still not ideal, though, for TY. I mean, TY wanted to go for some damage here in the early game. It really did not get anything done and will now actually also end up losing that Medivac. Here's Medivac wave number 2. Apparently, he's going to go for the same trick exactly again. Now, this time around, I mean, this should be a little bit easier, but the Stalkers are still inside of that main base and over at the third. So, once again... okay. Well, once again, there will be a little bit of damage at the same time. A couple more Widow Mines are just simply moving across the map. TY not satisfied with this damage output over here. Might end up losing this mine as well. One probe nobly sacrificing himself for the Protoss. But all things considered, I mean, yeah, it's a little bit of damage here and there, but nothing significant whatsoever. You can see resources lost significantly in favor right now of the Protoss player. Plus the third base was quite a bit faster. So good defense right here by Trap. It's kind of what Trap does. So Trap's strongest matchup is Terran versus Protoss, or Protoss versus Terran, I guess, from his perspective. He's very, very good at this matchup. You have to do a lot of multitasking and make sure you don't lose too much to Widow Mines. It's one of those strategies, it always kind of feels to me at the very least that it's one of those strategies that technically speaking shouldn't deal damage. And I wouldn't be surprised if like Widow Mine drops will sort of fall out of favor as we go into the future of SC2 as players get better and better. Because, I mean, it's been a while since I've seen, like, a Terran player deal a humongous amount of damage with those Widow Mines, right? Now, obviously, it's also immediately allowing them to defend a little bit easier at home. But it's one of those builds that technically shouldn't do all too much if you know that your opponent is really, really good, right? And Trap, I mean, I don't really see him taking a ton of damage just from a couple of Widow Mines. I mean, it's very easy to slip up and make a mistake. And believe it or not, these pro gamers are still human, but, yeah, it doesn't really happen that often anymore at the pro level. Anyways, a little bit of a supply block here. Really? Oh, well, he's going to be finishing up 2 supply depots right here on the left-hand side. Should be okay. 1-1 is coming up. This upgrade right here for Trap a little bit faster. He already has the Templar Archives too. Could certainly go for a bit of a push. Blink is going to finish up very soon. He's actually trying to poke in right here with these Oracles. Now, Blink is not done yet. Hello. You're a little bit early, my man. He does manage to get the siege tank, but... this is the moment where Blink finally finishes. One of the sentries actually does fall. And the Medivac right there at the same time picked up a couple of the weakened units and brought them behind the force fields. Cheeky little bit of micro right there by Trap using the Blink almost perfectly there to negate some of that damage. Not quite gonna happen. Now, the Templar Archives, like I said, it did already come up. He's not just gonna use it for Archons. He is researching Psionic Storm, as that is gonna be his first source of splash. So splash damage in this matchup, obviously, absolutely massive. If you manage to land one good storm on all of those juicy, low hit point Terran units, you're gonna be able to oftentimes run away with the victory. So that's gonna be one of the main counter plays right here for TY. You can counter it by microing, or by obviously getting yourself some Ghost and trying to land those EMPs. For now, though, relatively passive approach. It looked to me like the Terran player wanted to go for the 4th command center here as well. Or at the very least, he might decide to do so in just a little bit. 4th Nexus, though, is already coming up. Prism is coming up as well. This could be a moment where Trap decides to get a little bit aggressive. But the thing is, if you're playing 4 bases and your opponent is playing 3, you really don't need to get aggressive. He is sitting very aggressively out onto the map right here, just like Parting does with these Stalkers. Very easy to accidentally lose all of those, but obviously you can pick up some units pretty nicely as well. A lot of posturing going on so far, though, in this game, right? Neither player really committing to anything big, just allowing the opponent to build up the army composition that they're looking for. Now, here's those Ghosts right here already on that production tab. So the Ghost will be coming out. Ghost Academy right here on the left-hand side. Whenever I see a Ghost Academy, I immediately want to see the nuke research coming up. But sadly, no tactical nukes here. It's just going to be for the EMPs to hopefully shut down the High Templar that are currently sitting safely inside of that prism. This is a very difficult position to push into, though. Is Trap actually going to try? There's a whole bunch of tanks right over here, man. There's a command center blocking some of that pathing, too. If he can kill the command center, I guess that would be okay. But he's already now going for the Robo Bay at home as well. Couple of Zealots here on the top section of the map waiting to maybe go in for the run-by, but this defense right here by TY seems really, really good. Ghost actually moving forward right now as well. They're looking for the High Templar. Oh, they actually get a nice EMP right there on the Archon. He does decide to commit here after all, but isn't that way too much Terran? Well, here come the High Templar. They do land some pretty good storms. maybe I misspoke, man. It really seemed like this was not a fight that the Protoss players should be taking, but I mean, it's working out really, really well for him right now. So many tanks in the back. SCVs are falling in very large numbers at this point. Missile turrets, though, do finish up. That's going to force these prisms to back up as well. That's 19 SCVs going down in the blink of an eye. I really did not think that that was going to be a good fight there at all. But apparently this is why Trap is one of the best Protoss players in the world. He saw the opportunity here and he took it. That was a very, very difficult choice to make, because that could have gone absolutely disastrously, like, wrong, right? I guess the Ghost managed to land some good EMPs there, and it, like, already softened up those Archons a little bit, but the High Templar still got some really nice storms off, and that changes the tide of battle very, very fast. Now, obviously, killing SCVs here, not really the end of the world. I mean, the yellow mining machines, very, very nice. They're gonna, you know, bring that Terran economy up to a pretty nice, stable income once again, but obviously, you don't want to lose those, boys. 5th Nexus, coming up right here at the bottom section of the map as well, right as the 4th command center finally lands. So Trap apparently wants to continue getting aggressive. Obviously, by establishing a planetary fortress over here, TY is going to have to defend both this location up here and also the one down below. That means that these zealots, yeah, these zealot run-bys can start dealing a lot of damage. How do you decide where you're going to be defending, right? If you're the Terran player at this point in the game. Nice little bit of hold position micro as well. Trap trying to kill as many workers as he can before just simply running these bad boys out of there once again. Sensor tower, though, very helpful here. You can see Trap just barely on the edge right here of the sensor tower, showing one little blip right there on the minimap. But most of the Protoss army is all the way down south. Planetary Fortress, though, did finish up, and that's a nice anchor to fall back to right now if you're TY. 5th Nexus, though, at the same time finished up as well. We do see some good upgrades. Finally, a second forge coming up here, too. Apparently, he's gonna... Oh, my God. Is he really gonna funnel himself up this ramp? Oh, big EMP right there on all of those High Templar. Now, does it matter, though? Because this is just an awful lot of Protoss. He can obviously morph in a couple of Archons here, which is really nice. A couple units as well, though, come stimming down. Or up the ramp, I suppose. Big Storm does still land. One Zealot moves up right over here towards that 3rd base. Planetary Fortress, though, gonna be a nice structure to fall back to. Is this gonna be enough right now for Trap to break this Terran player? I mean, he's certainly at an advantage. Can he actually push for the victory right here, right now? I'm not entirely sure, man. These Protoss units are starting to run very, very low. Here's the reinforcing Zealots, though. Yeah, they're gonna be able to charge forward. Still a lot of Medivacs in the air. They don't have a lot of energy anymore. A couple of Zealots working right there on that mineral line. Prism is very close by to pick up any of those Protoss units if they absolutely need to. Once again, 21 workers end up falling. Amazing game right here by Trap. I'm really impressed with some of the decision making, right? Like, it seems like a lot of this is going terribly, but then somehow, some way, he's making it work. Ooh. The EMPs here are absolutely lethal. Well, here's a last-ditch effort from TY. He decides to pull all of the SCVs from the natural towards this engagement as well. Picks up one of the Immortals. Second Immortal, ooh, just barely goes into the Warp Prism here. That's 20 SCVs, or 28 SCVs, rather, in total, as Trap decides to back up once again. Sick fights, man. Really, really, really close battles here. The thing is, Trap is happily mining right now, even establishing a 6th Nexus. Army supply, at this point in favor, though, of TY. Well, I said that, and a couple more units probably were warped in. He's now actually even getting himself the extended thermal lens upgrade. This prism here is super critical. For a little while there, TY was ahead in the army supply count. Now, obviously, he didn't necessarily know that, but yeah, having that prism over there forces the Terran player to stay at home for a little while longer. And obviously that will now allow Trap to get a bigger army up, right? Because he's got more mining, he's got more income, and therefore he can produce a larger army as well. He's switching into Colossi. I don't know if this is something that TY has spotted at this point. He still has not made really any unit that's good against this. Well, he will know right now. Yeah, I guess Marauders can kind of do the trick, but this is going to be a very, very difficult fight to take right now. Completely ignoring the Planetary Fortress. Just run south instead. Huge storms. Oh my god, once again. Land on top of all of those bio units. Trap, stop hurting him, man. He can only be so dead. Actually, well, there's still a lot of units here over at the 3rd base location, but I am about 99% sure that this is all she wrote right here for the Terran player in game number 1. Amazing game played here by the South Korean Protoss, really showing us what is possible when you control those Protoss units really, really well. I mean, There's a couple units desperately stimming down the ramp right after they came out of the barracks. But Trap obtains the victory here in game 1. Okay, so here we go. Map number 2. We find ourselves on Zen. Now Zen, together with Simulacrum, the previous map, it will be heading out with the next ladder season. That one is starting up, I believe, next week. And I think that then is probably also, that's probably also going to be the moment where the next balance patch will go live. Now, in case you want to hear my initial impressions of the new maps, I will go ahead and post a link to that video that I made about it down below in the description of this one. There's actually some pretty exciting maps. One of them has like a, not a slowing bubble, but like a speed up bubble instead. That map is called Death Aura. In general, though, the maps are looking really, really good. Now, before I blabber onwards about maps, apparently TY has decided to start up a barracks on his opponent's side of the map. Now, there should be something here that Trap will find out about. I mean, he's scouting with 2 probes. Really does not want to be proxied. Quite surprised he doesn't check that location right over there. I mean, that seems to be one of the locations where proxies happen all the time. But anyways, he's got to be scouting both sides of the map here. Trying his very best to, at the very least, cover like 80% of the locations where Terrans might go for a proxy. And there we go. This probe certainly will find out about it. Now, this map, it does have a nice little doodad right over there. Like a nice little pinkish looking tree. It's also got like a wall over here. So this is going to reduce the surface area where this SCV will actually be attackable quite a lot. And, well, there we go. Even though the barracks does get found, it's just going to be a single proxy barracks. So not that big of a commitment. And when it finishes up, I mean, if you can kill, obviously, the SCV while building it, that's pretty much game over. But with the barracks finishing up, you can still go for a factory at home to, like, complete this wall off over here. And while you obviously can't really build any add-ons on this barracks, this does allow you to send that very first Reaper across the map just a little bit faster. So there's the factory going up in the back of the base. Did Trap see this? He did not. So for all that Trap knows right now, it could be like a proxy factory right over here as well. Nexus does come up. Zealot also is indeed coming up here too. That one's probably just there to kill any potential bunkers. So there we go. This bunker should get killed quite easily. Stalker now also being chrono boosted out even before the cybernetics core upgrade starts up. So let's see how much damage this Reaper can really do. I mean, he's got a little bit of time. Maybe get a probe or 2. There we go. That's 1. Good defense here once again by Trap. He does have a probe patrolling over here. Did not quite see that factory. So that's something worth noting. Another Reaper, though, is out right now. 3rd Reaper starts up as well. Ooh. Finding it right there. It's like a Pokemon, dude. He found himself a Reaper in the tall grass. Amazing. I don't know if they can evolve, though. Look at these 2 Reapers, man. Bullying that Zealot. Can't believe it. Anyways, not the most successful start right here by TY. Starts up the command center finally at this point in the game. But I mean, this is already so late, right? I mean, the Nexus here on the other side of the map, pretty much already finishing. And very little damage was actually dealt. So great defense once again by Trap. And that really kind of like, you know, is the pinnacle of his gameplay. That's just kind of what he does. He defends everything. I don't usually see Trap taking a whole lot of damage in the early game. And while Terran has about a gajillion different ways in dealing damage. Oh my god, actually, the Adept just got in. 2 Hellions are gonna finish up, so I guess eventually this Adept can go, but yeah, this is a bit of a problem. Okay, well, it's not gonna be allowed to escape, so this is your life now. Make the best of it, buddy. Adept in the meantime. Oh, shaded over there towards the left-hand side. I couldn't even follow it. It does see that the starport is inside of the main base, so that's a good little tell. Tech Lab was also spotted there, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, this is basically everything that Trap needs to know, assuming that he actually clicked on it. He probably did. These guys are very fast. If you have a look right here at the APM tab, I mean, it will ramp up the average APM that is throughout the game. Here we go, though. Nice little hit squad over here, not gonna lie. That's 3 Reapers and then 2 of those Hellions as well. They can deal a lot of damage. 2nd Stalker now joins in too, and is this gonna be enough? You need to make sure you don't line anything up, right? Beautiful grenade, though. Oh my god, TY. This opener wasn't really working for you at all, but all of a sudden, right now, this is looking so much better. Ooh, he does evacuate a couple of the probes on out of there and needs himself more stuff. The warp gate upgrade, it is done, so that's nice. 2 more what are they called? Gateways do finish up there as well. 3rd time's the charm. 6 probes go down. Okay, that's actually pretty reasonable. I didn't think that TY was going to be able to get a whole lot done there at all. Orbital Command also finishing up. Yeah, if this would have been like an Immortal first or something, this might have been a bit easier to defend. Or maybe he missed like one of the Chrono Boosts there on the Warp Prism. Not sure. Ugh, was that spotted? I think it was. Oh my god. This could be a disaster right now. Well, eventually he does see it. There's obviously no blink or anything like that. No Widowmines hiding inside of that plane this time. It's gonna be the Hellions instead. Need to be so careful though. Alright. Stalkers heading towards the main base. Couple of Stalkers right over here in the back section as well. Looks like these Stalkers are trying their very best to poke away at the Hellions at the same time though. Right now we do have that drop going down inside of the main base. There is a siege tank. Gotta be very careful. Don't want it to do splash damage right there to your own SCVs. That would be a disaster. At the same time, Hellions actually bypass the Stalkers altogether and they're right now inside of that main base. A couple of SCVs were killed there. Probably due to the splash damage there of the siege tank. Oof. Well, the words that I said about Trap usually not taking a lot of damage in the early game, that aged like fine milk. Like fine milk is how that, yeah. He just took a lot of damage. He just took 21 probe losses there, which certainly is very significant. And while he is going to be able to pick off that, oh my god, that barracks eventually, another probe does fall here at home. All right. Now, while mules are good, Chrono Boost, very nice as well. Protoss can come back into this, assuming he continues making workers relatively reasonably. There we go. He does continue making workers, and he does Chrono Boost them out as well. But right now, though, this is a much better position here for TY to be in. He's going to be able to finish himself up that Raven in just a little bit. Actually spotted the little blur there. So he just picked off that vision there of the Protoss player too. Prism in the meantime, though, goes inside of that main base. This might be able to do a little bit of damage. At the same time, the Reapers from earlier, man. Wait, Reapers inside of a medevac? Oh my god. What is this? This is a weird hit squad right over here, yeah. I mean, with the effect, or rather with the attack in the main base going south, I really wanted to look at the Reapers over here with that medevac, right? It's not something we normally see, but Trap did decide to GG out. Alrighty, so here we go. Map number 3 in this best of 5 series is Nightshade. And actually, there we go. Let me fix that scoreboard. This is one thing that really bothers me, okay? I watch quite a few SC2 casts myself as well, and sometimes, I mean, when tournaments have professional observers, it isn't really like an issue usually, but sometimes when you see people casting and you know, observing at the same time, they forget to fix the scoreboard. So having it like this, you know, would kind of indicate that the player in blue is in the top section of the map, and then the player in red would be in the bottom section of the map, because it's that way on the scoreboard. I like fixing it, man. This bothers me to no end. You may have never been bothered by it in the past, but now you're going to notice it, and you're going to be triggered. You're welcome! You're welcome. No problem. No problem at all. Happy to help. Hey, look. TY, despite apparently that Reaper cheese kind of working out in the previous game, although it wasn't really the Reapers that did the magic, he is going to put the barracks inside of the main this time. Cool. Trap scouting across the map. No fancy scouting patterns this time around. Just wants to know if there is a barracks inside of the main base of the Terran. It's an easier way of figuring this kind of thing out. There we go. Does find out that everything is normal. And the taser right there of the probe being used to shoot away at that SCV for just a little while. Might need to be patched up. But looks like a normal opener here. There's the Cybercore coming up at 20 supply, and then it should also be a Nexus at 20 supply. So this is the standard right now in this matchup. 20 supply Cybercore, 20 supply Nexus. There we go. Then probably one more probe, and then... Or you could go for a pylon right now. Ah, he's going for a pylon right now. Could go for a probe after this as well. Anyways, this is generally speaking the way that this matchup works at this point in the meta. It allows Trap to still get the expansion up at a reasonable time without it being blocked on the low ground, and then also actually be able to get himself that, what's it called, like the Adept out by the time that the Reaper is on his side of the map. Now this little rally point over here, super critical. Every single Protoss player experiences this when they first try hard and actually create walls. So this right here is basically a little trap over here. Well, Trap is making a trap. Haha! Hilarious, Loko. Good one. But yeah, he's making a little trap right here for the Reaper to jump up on the high ground. If you don't set that rally point, and you just send the Reaper, or the Adept rather, straight across the map, it will be stuck over here. Which is bad. you basically lose the game at that point, okay? You're gonna have to go Prism and try and get all of that going. Now, first off, we saw a Stargate opener. Then we saw a Robo opener, and this time around it's going to be that Twilight Council opener. So maybe this will be that quick Blink Stalker play that I was talking about during the very first game of the series. Once again, by the way, double Marines coming up here for TY. So no real scouting here other than that SCV for him. He did see the Nexus though, and he did see the Warp Gate, or the Cybercore rather. He knows exactly what's up, and there's Blink. So this will not be scouted. This is going to be something that TY won't find out about. I guess it's okay though. I guess it shouldn't be that big of a deal. Now, if he once again wants to go for this Marine opener, will it also once again be a Widow Mine drop? I'm kind of curious to see maybe a pattern over there. He is scouting around right now with one Marine, trying to figure out if maybe like there's a proxy Stargate, or you know, maybe like even a proxy Dark Shrine or something crazy like that. Doesn't happen in this game. But Trap, obviously, being a very well-rounded Protoss player, he's perfectly capable of doing those kinds of build orders. Already, though, this is like the Trap special. Like, I've said it a couple times, but if you want to learn, well... This is a Loco wall over here, man. Look at this. This is what I do whenever I try to make any wall ups. There's like 4 holes in it. Anyways, yeah, if you want to, like, learn how to play this matchup, just take a build order from Trap. Whenever he plays a safe build order, and this one seems to be super safe, it's one of the builds that is very, very nice to copy because this guy definitely knows what he's doing in this matchup. Now, Blink openers, though, they are good to copy, but they also require a certain skill set when it comes to micro. So, I mean, there is like this 2-base Colossus opener where you don't go for a 4-minute Nexus, but you go for like a 5-minute Nexus. I like playing that one quite a bit in Protoss versus Terran because it's a little bit easier to control. Blink Micro, obviously. Very good as well against this kind of Widow Mine drop harass, which, by the way, it will be here from TY. Love this little pylon up here as well. This one would spot any Medivacs coming in from the north. Alright, TY, though, in the main, he's now going for that one siege tank. He's going for a Liberator. Trying to get a little bit of damage done there with the Medivac, but, I mean, is this spotted? Yeah, he does see it. This shouldn't really be able to deal that much damage. There's the third command center coming up as well. We'll see if TY wants to go for a push here in a little bit. Certainly is capable of doing so. Now, these Stalkers, though, they're super annoying. So basically what the Stalkers can do is they can poke away at these units. And since they have Blink, none of them should ever really die against units that don't have Stimpack. Right? So just picking up a little bit here and there. Taking some shield damage, totally fine. There's one Marine. Ooh, second Marine. Ooh, well, he did take a little bit of base damage over there. He doesn't want to show the Blink. Well, at the same time, sorry. Doesn't want to show the Blink until he lost a lot of stuff. At the same time, the Widow Mine drop did happen inside of the main base, or in the natural though, so that is 8 probes going down there. And actually, oh my god, hey Trap, wakey wakey. Trap's starting to fall asleep, making some very uncharacteristic sloppy micro mistakes over here. Loses quite a bit as well to this Liberator. That's 4 worker kills there to the... Oh my... Wait, where'd it go? The Liberator just disappeared. I have no idea. That probably also, by the way, the reason why he missed the Blink micro over there was because he was managing the natural at the same time. And even though both of those little micro mistakes were made, it's still kind of funny to look at. I've seen some angry comments every once in a while of people saying like, oh my god, Loko, you can't laugh at a programmer making a mistake. You couldn't do it better yourself. Love those kind of comments. Those are my favorites. It's like, wait, but, huh? I can't critique anything that I can't do myself? Then I wouldn't be able to critique anything, man. Alright, here we go. The continued production, though, of the Terran does get scouted. Up to 5 barracks at this point. Probably will add on a couple more barracks here in just a little bit. The 1-1 upgrades are coming up here as well for TY. Third command center obviously already finished. Is he gonna go into the main base? Well, the Marines are just leaving the main base. There we go. This is really where parting shines, man. This is like where I'm always super impressed with parting. This is not ideal. This is really not ideal. Yeah. I mean, loses a couple of Stalkers there. Loses... I guess 2 SCVs too, but not quite ideal. Honestly, like the blink ups into the main base and then trying to deal damage, it's one of the most difficult moves to make. Because basically you blink up, right? And then obviously your blink upgrade or your blink ability is going to be on cooldown. So you need to like stay in there for long enough. So if you don't know exactly where all of the Terran units are located, you're kind of just crossing your fingers and hoping that it's going to work out for you. So you have to be super aware of where Terran is positioned, and it's really, really easy to make a sloppy mistake and accidentally lose a lot of stuff. Now, by the way, despite him losing a whole bunch of probes earlier, he is now already once again at 66 workers. So that is enough for full 3-base saturation. And this is also the moment, apparently, where 7 additional gateways are coming up. We see a couple High Templar. We see the Psionic Storm upgrade. I would love to see the... Oh, that's weird. 2 dropships pass each other in the middle of the night. Yeah, this would be a good moment as well to certainly go for a push, right? He's going to have Storm. He's going to have a really large army. Could just go for the Expo. Maybe push behind it as well. Love, by the way, there's one missile turret over here. Doesn't seem very significant, but I mean, that Prism has to YOLO past it if he wants to get some damage in. Apparently, it is going to be TY that decides to go for the push. While he's arriving right... Yeah, as... He's arriving right as Storm finishes up and all of those gateways finish up as well. This is an awful lot of Protoss. Did force the siege up right over there. One Storm completely whiffed. At the same time, though, a couple of Zealots are dropped off over here, but I think the Prism may have actually also fallen. There it is. Trap playing a little bit sloppier this game. I mean, he's still doing really well, but... there's not really a lot of room for error, you know, at this level of play. Like, you can't really make a lot of mistakes. Ooh, a couple of Stalkers, though, and a couple of Immortals actually come in from the back right now. They pick up all of the Siege Tank. Nicely done. High Templar right there. Do morph into an Archon at the last possible second. At the same time, big drop right over here. And the natural of the Protoss player. Protoss doesn't really have the amount of resources right now to split their army up. There we go. Drop probably heading towards the main base right now of the Protoss as well. And actually, the Nexus just simply straight up falls. A lot of damage done right here by TY. Protoss still scrambling over at the 3rd base. Well, there's the dropships heading towards the main. If I can get the Forge, or maybe even shut down some of these, you know, pylons, that would be huge as well. Apparently, TY also wanted to try and see if he could deal some damage over at the 4th base of the Protoss. But no, he's going to be forced to go back home. Only a couple of Stalkers remain. Fort does get killed, and this is now going from bad to worse here for the South Korean Protoss. TY just simply running him around like a fool. Powering down all of those gateways, killing the forge as well. Now 7 probes inside of that gas geyser. It's all a little bit painful. And in the meantime, obviously at home, Terran is happily macroing up, going for the 4th command center. He's adding on additional production, so that will bring this up to about 8 barracks production as well. And once that finishes, I mean, he's gonna skyrocket ahead in supply even more than he is already. Now, apparently, he felt a little bit guilty, so he decided to sacrifice the Raven. But, I mean, this is by no stretch enough, right? Is it? I mean, if this is gonna be enough, that would be insane. He does land some beautiful storms, though. Hold up. He just ate the biggest storms in his life. No idea why he decided to eat that many storms. This is actually... Oh, no. No way. Trap. Oh, my God. Maybe I spoke too soon. I mean, right now, Trap is basically in, like, the location of the map where all of these Terran units are coming together. So he's cutting off the supply line here. 25 SCVs? No way, Trap! What? He was so dead, but then he landed the biggest storms ever. Oh my God, TY in full panic mode right now, trying to see if he can salvage this scenario. Dude, no way. Is he actually doing this? I don't think this should have happened. I can almost feel the Terran players, you know, leaving salty comments right now in the comment section. Protoss. Oh, dude. Okay, well, that was certainly TY's game to lose. Right now, though, I mean, it looks like the command center will be able to fly away, but right now it looks like Protoss might be able to stabilize here. Protoss actually ahead when it comes to the economy. Can you fight this, though? Oh, good force field. Oh, my God. He's going to be forced to pick up these units. He's got to pick them up. At the same time, a couple of Zealots working right there over at the 3rd base. 52 SCVs do fall in this game. And I think... Oh, my God. Yeah. Well, I said from bad to worse for the Protoss player earlier. That is nasty. That is really dirty. Okay, Trap does obtain the victory after he was so far behind. Alrighty. Well, there we go. That means Trap, surprisingly enough, is currently 2-1 ahead. Now, I wasn't really looking at the supply count at the bottom section of the screen. So, the army supply count, that is. Maybe Trap was ahead supply-wise all that time. I'm not entirely sure. Pretty insane, though, how he managed to pull a rabbit out of a hat, right? Like, that's one of the things that Protoss is really, really good at. Protoss has a lot of comeback mechanics, right? And, well, comeback mechanics, generally speaking, happen in the way of splash damage. Oh, actually, I mean, we can talk about splash damage all we want, but apparently TY is done with this, man. I would be royally tilted right now if I was TY. Anyways, yeah, so is this going to be scouted? Oh my god, if Trap sees this, that would be a disaster here for TY. He's going double proxy barracks this time around. But yeah, if you manage to land a beautiful storm... Nah, he's just sending it across. If you manage to land a beautiful storm on your opponent's army, or maybe you get like a prism out and you micro your units really well, or you get like a big disruptor hit, or you micro your colossus and you get some juicy splash damage in and all that, right? Protoss has a lot of ways of coming back, and that was a beautiful example of how that kind of thing happens. I mean, there was really no way that Trap could play out a macro game there by sitting back. And I feel like the same actually can be said right over here, man. He's gonna find out that there's literally nothing inside of the main base. Second gas, not taken yet. Might be taken here in just a little bit, though. Should be a nice little bit of aggression here. Oh my god. Did you see that, actually? The SCV was stuck over here. But apparently they decided to shift the job. And then it managed to escape, I guess. Anyways. No Nexus, obviously, on the low ground yet. Trap just gonna play super safe. This is nice for him. Already took the second gas. Took the pylon inside of the main base, too. He doesn't really know exactly what's happening here. There's the Marine. So, good old bunker rush. One of the classic pushes in SC2. One SCV does fall. Stalker, though. I mean, you don't even have to move it there, right? It can just shoot at the bunker from the low ground. Or from the high ground, rather. A couple of those shield batteries coming up here, too. And I honestly think that this is a pretty good situation to be in right now for Trap. I mean, it kind of comes down on how he defends the next couple of attack waves, right? But this is certainly a good start. Can he reach that? Oh my god, he can reach that. Yeah, this is not great. Not great here for TY at all. Oh my god, Trap even knows it right now. He cancels one of the shield batteries. Like, yep, I've got this. Got it in the back, no problemo. The Marines go all the way back home. One barracks decided to fly on over towards the main base of the Protoss. It was going to serve to provide high ground vision, but sadly, not going to be a potential option this time around here for TY. I kind of feel like Trap should just ignore this. Yeah, just go across. See if you can get some damage done on the other side. Apparently, he wants to go for a command center here on the low ground. A little bit of a gamble. Because, I mean, Protoss is obviously going to be able to produce for quite some time. One more Marine ended up falling there as well. The probe here spots pretty much everything. It's even going to, like, put down a pylon over there to, I guess, rub salt in the wound over here. There we go. Preventing this wall-off from happening. Maybe just freaking out the Terran player ever so slightly. I mean, we know that it's not going to be a big shade buy at this point in the game, but, I mean, he doesn't really know that at this point. Alright. Zealot. Oh my god. Just YOLOing forward. Bunker, though, eventually finishes, and that's going to shut down any counter-attack potential here for the time being. Once again, Twilight Council upgrade coming up here, or Twilight Council, rather, coming up here for Trap. That does mean he wants to go into those upgrades. What is it going to be? Blink. Should be Blink. Come on, show us the Blink. Show me your Blink where I can see it. Okay, he's busy microing. There it is. Obviously, as soon as I look away. Classic. He's got to be able to start up his Blink upgrade once again. And, well, oh my god, that is really greedy. That's like a 3.5 minute third Nexus. I like it, though. The standard timing right now is usually about 4 minutes or 4.5 or maybe 5 minutes for Protoss players to go for the third base. Depends on what kind of opener they want to go for. So if you want to go quick Robo Bay, usually it's about a 5-minute Nexus. If you want to go Blink Stalker, usually it's about a 4-minute Nexus. This was sooner than that. So Trap just sort of capitalizing on the scenario. He's like, okay, you know what? I know I'm ahead right now. I know you're not going to be able to get much damage done. So let's see what you do about a third Nexus. Well, obviously the Marines are still alive from earlier, right? There's a Widow Mine inside of this Medivac right now as well. So TY should be able to get some damage in. He's got a couple of Hellions right now roaming the bottom section of the map here too. They might try and jump into the natural expansion while the Protoss is distracted inside of the main base. And you know what? This can certainly deal some damage. Yeah, maybe this was a little bit too greedy here by Trap. He doesn't have a lot of units. Here we go. Widowmine burrows immediately. Marines come up as well. Now here's those Hellions. This is the real move right over here. Ooh, good scout right there by Trap. Knows exactly what's going on. He had a unit right there on the watchtower, a probe, but still not ideal. Ooh, 2 probes fall right away with the first line of fire. At the same time, though, looks like this drop over here will be shut down. Widowmine should be picked off as well. 6 probes in total. I mean, 8 probes in total, but 6 probes in total just now. Yeah, you know what? I actually don't mind this so much anymore here for the Terran player. He's got himself a nice little bit of eco. I mean, certainly still an advantage here for the Protoss. But, yeah, this is a nice position to be in right now if you're Terran. I mean, you're making the best of it, right? Your early game aggression got shut down hard. This little bit of damage can certainly add up and allow you to claw yourself back into it. You can see he's setting himself up for a nice little attack here later on as well. Already has the one Raven with that Raven skin as well, man. Look at those wings on that thing. Jeez. Those wings are huge. Still don't know if that makes it fly. I'm not sure how this works, but it's alright. Alright, so Blink is done right now. Can't really extend very far anymore with that Medivac. And apparently these Marines have just given up on life altogether. They're gonna sacrifice themselves. Medivac hanging out over there. Alright, so scanning the main base confirms the tech route right here of the Protoss, and everything is standard. So this is what the Terran player is looking for right now, okay? He's wondering if there's anything cheeky going on, if there's anything weird. Couple additional gateways come up, but that's not strange at all. There's the Robo facility, the forge, but that all makes sense. No super quick tech here from the Protoss. No like Robo Bay or anything like that. It's important for the Terran player to know that so they can actually prepare in advance as well. But you can see right now, just gotta be Marines and siege tanks. And he's got himself that +1 infantry weapons coming up. Only a single NG bay this time around, so he doesn't want to get too greedy here. But he could certainly go for a push. We'll see. We'll see what he decides to go for here in just a little bit. You can see Trap, though, really forced to stay at home for a super long time. He finished up that Blink upgrade quite a while ago. And because of that one Medivac with the one Marine in it, he has decided to stay at home for a super long time. Now, he does have control of the entire map. Right there, both watchtowers are taken. Just having map control is huge in SC2. One of the most underrated features of the game when you first get started. But here's that big Terran army. And this is a very, very sizable force. 61 army suppliers, 63 right now. Versus only 46 for the Protoss player. Protoss right now going into the Templar Archive, so I guess he could get himself a couple of Archons done. Why are you sieging up over here, TY? Yeah, I guess he was maybe a little bit worried that these Stalkers were trying to move in. The force fields are gonna have to be on point. Let's just leave it at that. Good Blink there. He does have one High Templar in that Prism. But, I mean, he's got no Storm. He's probably just trying to scare the opponent here. That managed to... Oh, actually, no, never mind. He just managed to feed back the Raven. That's actually really nicely done. I was almost making fun of that move. You could already see TY right there splitting, but the boys have been brought as well. That means that the Raven is basically pointless. It does take a little bit of damage, but the boys are here, and TY is ready to go for the all-in. No third command center, just a lot of stuff. This is one of those pushes that is lethal if controlled well. So the SCVs are mostly here as meat shields. They can deal a little bit of damage, obviously. You don't really want them hitting an Archon necessarily, but all of the Zealots right now charge on top of those SCVs as well. Zealots, though, coming in from the back. Looks like one of the tanks falls, but I mean, this is way too much Terran, right? Yeah, that is way too much Terran. Beautiful engagement right here by TY, and obviously ended up losing 22 SCVs there as well. That's all of them. But the third Nexus will definitely fall, and he could start moving into the main base here as well if he wants to. A lot of probes will certainly find their graves over here too. TY, who going for a very aggressive game number 4, and he does obtain the victory. So interestingly enough, map 5, the final map in this series, is a Golden Wall. Now, normally it seems like this map pretty much always gets vetoed. So they ended up vetoing Purity and Industry, and then I guess... What do we have? We had Zen, Simulacrum, Eternal Empire, Nightshade. So I guess they vetoed Everdream? Yeah. One of these two must have vetoed Everdream. That's quite interesting to me, to be honest. Like, Everdream is one of those very standard maps. We didn't see Everdream, right? No, I don't think so. Anyways, should be a fun game here. I haven't seen a lot of Terran versus Protosses on this map. Apparently, TY has got a plan. This is an SCV with a mission over here, already mining out the back mineral patches. This map will not be in the next ladder map pool, by the way. We're going back down to a more quote-unquote boring map pool, which I actually am really excited for. This is one of those maps, love watching games on it, really don't like playing on it at all. It's kind of painful. So I'm excited to see what this game will bring. So SCVs are busy mining out the mineral patches here in the back, and I guess he's gonna go for a command center right here on the low ground. Ooh. Yeah, TY is hiding this as well. So he started up a supply depot here at the front, preventing that probe from going in. That's gonna probably ring an alarm bell right now instead of the head of Trap already, right? That is a very quick second depot. Trap, though, just going for the natural expansion, but here we go. Command center can be planted down right over here super safely. And the thing is, this part of the map, right, it's only accessible by mining out minerals. So either you mine out the minerals over here in the center, or you mine out the golden minerals, or you mine out the minerals right here in the back of your own main base. And apparently that's going to be, that final one, that's going to be the strategy here that Trap decides to go for. I do like watching games on the map exactly for this reason. It's very different, right? And StarCraft 2, I mean, I'm struggling enough as it is, okay? I've been playing StarCraft 2 for like 10 years at this point. Play pretty much every single day. And, yeah, StarCraft's hard enough as it is. I don't need any more fancy mechanics to make the game harder on me when I'm playing. But that doesn't mean, obviously, that the pro gamers don't necessarily want to play those maps either. I mean, I'm pretty sure they don't necessarily enjoy playing on a map like this as much. Because it also forces them to change it up. But, I mean, if you're good on maps like this, right? Plus on other maps as well. Like, you have different, like, map archetypes, right? If you're good in all those kinds of types of maps, I guess it would make it a more strategic game. So I'm definitely not against these maps, but I personally will probably veto them almost all the time. Anyways, here we go. Robotics facility coming up. Once again, gonna be that robo opener. There's a factory coming up here inside of the main base as well, but this is a bit of a scary one right now, though, for Trap, right? So this is one of those strategies where he knows nothing. So if you are looking for a good Protoss versus Terran build and you're like, oh my god, I don't know what to do. I mean, Terrans don't usually know a whole lot. This is kind of like just, you know, regular Terran vision. Yeah, Protoss usually needs to be a little bit more careful when it comes to this kind of stuff. He finally mined out the back mineral patches here, so he's going to be able to now send a unit across the map. Now, he knows that the expo is not at the front, so he knows that the expo is right over here. I would personally be a little bit concerned about maybe like the golden base being taken, so that's probably what Trap is looking for right now as well. If the golden minerals would be taken here, he's gonna have to take action. There we go. I'm surprised he actually even shows the probe. No, he just wants to go into the main base. Okay. I was gonna say, like, why would you show that? Just wants to know exactly what is going on here. Jimmy and the squad apparently have to go into the main base. And, well, probably we'll see the probe just going all the way back home. In the meantime, though, the Stalkers have decided that they want to be rather brave as well. First, Observer is out here, Prism is coming up. This can certainly be a game where Trap decides to get super aggressive. You can get a lot of value done. Just having a couple of these, nice little bit of micro here already. Yeah, 2 Marines there for basically free. Oh, 3rd Marine, nicely done. Even gets a shot off on that Widow Mine. This can definitely be a game where he decides to get super aggressive. There's the Widow Mine being spotted. There we go. Yeah, I mean, what are you gonna do right now, TY? You just lost so much. Cheeky engagement here, cheeky move. And while strategically I liked it, right now, though, all of a sudden, I mean, this is an absolute disaster. This is just a handful of gateways, right? There's a robo facility coming up. There's no 3rd Nexus yet. This is like the safest opener that you can play when you're playing Protoss. And that's what he decided to go for when he realized, wait a second, my opponent is doing something and I don't know what. He decided to go for a super safe approach. 2 base Colossi. Probably heading over to a 3rd base here very shortly. But it turns out, despite all the fanciness right here of TY, when you don't have a ramp and you can't like control all your units in one space, all of a sudden you're in a lot of trouble. Oh, actually, it's not a Colossus opening. He's going into Disruptors. Okay. So I've personally, like I said, I've been playing this 2-base Protoss opener, or this 2-base Protoss versus Terran opener that Trap has been playing, where he goes for Colossi and then goes for like a 5-minute 3rd Nexus. Apparently this is like a variant of that same thing, where he decides to go for the Disruptors instead, already getting himself the speed upgrade right there for the Prism too. So this Prism is going to be a little bit faster in just a second. gonna be very nice, though, if you want to go for disruptor drops, right? They're not quite Reaver drops, but they're pretty cool, too. That one Viking, though. Very, very nice. Oof. Wow. Ugh, man. This is so painful, though, for TY. Now he's gonna have to deal with that Prism again. Alright. So, Gravitic Drive. That's what it's called. I was gonna give you the name, but I forgot about it. Turns out I'm not a perfect commentator. Look at the Speedy Boy increase here in just a second, okay? There it goes. There it goes. Amazing. So this is awesome, especially when you're trying to outmaneuver one of those Vikings. Well, there we have it. Disruptors are loaded into the Prism. Colossus coming up right now after just 2 of them. So this is cool. I like this. Really nicely done here by Trap. Terran's still kind of just stuck on the same unit composition once again. This looks like a similar push that we saw in the previous game. Jimmy over here. We'll see the Prism. See that one Adept got morphed down. And at the same time, oh my god. What? This is weird. Both players see each other's army over here. Yeah, Prism has to go back home. And luckily, it's got the speed upgrade, so it's real fast. One big Disruptor hit can change the tide of battle really, really easily. There's the Colossus available as well. Is he just gonna go for the greedy opener, or is he gonna go for the greedy approach route, or is he gonna go for the siege tank? He doesn't know that there's disruptors in here, though. There we go, disruptors! Oh, such a big hit. We do see the disable right there on the Colossus. SCVs actually ended up falling here as well. I guess that may have been that one Adept from earlier. I'm not entirely sure. Anyways, regardless, this is not an ideal situation. Oh my god, for the Protoss player, or for the Terran player here at all. A lot of damage is being done. Can Terran get damage here? I'm not sure. I'm not convinced. I guess killing the Cybercore might be nice. I don't think there's charge. No, there is no charge. Yeah, this actually will slow down the Protoss a little bit. Less Stalkers right now being warped in. But I mean, there's a Colossus coming, right? There's the second Colossus. Also, no extended thermal lance right here. But I mean, look at the amount of Protoss units available at this point in the game. I think there might just be a little bit too much. Well, I say that. You know what? Once again, man, maybe I'm calling it a little bit early today. I apologize. Yeah. Without extended thermal lance, these Colossi are way weaker. A couple of SCVs now pulled away from the mineral line as well. They're gonna be repairing up that siege tank. Yeah, he actually planted down, I think, this pylon over here, but it's still not powering the Robo Bay. Getting himself charged. There is no warp gate, there's no Cybercore. Yeah, so the Cybercore finally goes up right now. This actually, oh my god, no, TY. If you do this, man, I'd be so impressed. You were pretty much dead. Now, he needs, like, this is a similar situation as in the previous game, right? He needs to get damage in over here. The thing is, without the Cybercore, you can't make Stalkers, right? So without Stalkers, what exactly are you gonna do? Now, here's extended thermal lance. He does have a bunch of gateways, but really not that many. Oh my god, TY, are you gonna win this? Colossi deal bonus damage against light. So these Marines, they die very easily. Couple of Zealots coming in from the back. One siege tank does fall right there. And actually, oh, that is so much splash damage of those couple of Colossi. I think there might just be a bit too much for the Protoss player. Although I've said that like 17 times in this series. I really do think there might be a little bit too much, though, for the Protoss player. That eco advantage that he's had for a little while right now, right? That's really starting to help him out. Bunker does get broken. Charge is done at this point, too. Colossus still getting a bunch of damage in. Immortal does fall, but there it is, right? GG does get called. After a nail-biter of a series, Trap is victorious in a 3-1. Trap is victorious, winning this series 3-2. I hope that you enjoyed watching this series. I mean, this was an amazing series of Terran versus Protoss. If you did, hit that like button down below. If you want to see more, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you get notified as soon as future videos go live. Special shout out, of course, to the Patreon supporters. Thank you guys very much for your generosity. But for now, I want to thank you for watching. Have an amazing day. Don't forget to smile. And I'll see you once again in the next one.